Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's the SMF part. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching this on YouTube. Wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments and questions a part of the show. I understand sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said, every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when the broadcast starts. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building, flying, competition coverage at John's Garage programming enjoyable and informative, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share the videos, and comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel membership starting at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Excuse me. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box to make donations. And you only can make the super chat donation during a live stream. So like I said earlier, every Monday and Friday evening, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come on in then, make your donation, please. And then if it's not convenient for you to watch the whole show, come back at your at a more convenient time for you. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar, and with your memberships, you'll get special badges that Sparky and I can see in the YouTube chat box. You get unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm in here just twice a week. And if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. That's on YouTube. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot of me flying his Junar XL as my first official flight ever at the Nationals, as a matter of fact. So you can see how well Sparky's plane flew under my control, and you can see me flying. So please check it out. And if you like it, please like that as well. Now, thank you for your past, present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't do things or use words you would normally do around your children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link at Stunthangar Forum right now. Just give me a moment here. Let's see here. Where did I put that link? Oh, here it is right here. And then I'm going to go next to the control panel on Sparky's YouTube channel. And let me go there and see what's happening. Okay. Just be a moment. Hope people had a chance to go out and fly. I went flying today with about, I think there was about four or five of us today. And next week, I'm expecting some more guys. So hopefully have even a better time. But today was beautiful. No crashes, and made a little bit of progress on trimming out my plane. Been doing some prop testing, and hey, looking at the channel here, we are streaming. Looks like there's no one in the chat box at the moment, but we do have 10 concurrent viewers, and half of you have already given us likes. So if you haven't smashed or pushed or hit the like button, please do that. That helps the analytics of the program. Now we're up to 6. Thank you. I appreciate that. And hopefully momentarily I'll have some people come in and join me here in the Stunthangar video hangouts. So let me close this and got that. All right. So like I said, I was out there doing some prop testing. My Strega, which I have a Stalker 81, and it's my motor's from the Ukraine. I know the Ukraine is in the news, obviously. And so I went to their website and saw that they're, had posted a post, anyways, I don't want to get into that. But anyways, it's kind of like, wow, this motor's from there. Now, normally I was running 14-inch props, and I even have had smaller props like 13. And I was using a lot of pitch to get the thrust that I needed. And I'm doing it differently now. I'm actually using even larger diameter props. I'm actually using 15-inch props. Today I had a 15-inch prop cut down to probably like 14 7/8, or somewhere around there, maybe 14 3/4, and 5 pitch. And I have on order some 15-inch props that have a 6 pitch. So it's been very interesting seeing how the engine responds, and I'm actually using more of the high end part of the motor. Before I was using all the low end, the 4-cycle torque, and I was just had a lot of pitch. The motor was barely turning over, but I was able to get enough thrust to move around this 80-ounce plane. But this is a totally different setup, and I'm really beginning to dig it, but it's not quite where I want it to be yet. I saw another expert today fly, and really like his package. It was a Bob Hunt design. It was a Genesis, and I think he had a PA 65 with the rear exhaust header, and excellent engine runs. The plane was just going through the pattern with no issue. We did have some wind that did cause some buffeting, and so it was I'm really glad that that person was there. It kind of reminded me of what I'm striving for. Right now we have 12 concurrent viewers and 8 likes. So if you haven't smashed that like button, please do that. And Jack Snavely, he says, hello, Charles, and all around. Well, actually, I was anticipating. Here we go. Hello, Charles, and all else in the hangar or shop and all around the world. That's what I was expecting, all around the world. A little bit different this time, Jack. So just saying hi again. Thank you very much. And he has some emojis of airplanes. And there's one, I don't know what that other emoji is, but I recognize the airplanes in different angles, either taking off or flying level. Pretty cool. Thank you, Jack. And Jack is he's a member. I can tell that because he has an icon that our members have. So thank you for your continued support, Jack. I appreciate it. And I know Sparky does too. So anyways, I'm looking forward to getting back to my Stalker, the motor's built in Ukraine. Obviously, with all the destruction going on, there's not going to be any Ukrainian parts, I don't think, or engines that I can be able to get. I hope they're all safe, and I hope for the best. And I was talking to my friend today at the flying field, and he had other friends who had already had put in orders, and maybe they already were shipped combat airplanes. There's a lot of combat airplanes that come out of Ukraine. So it's just it's amazing. I have at least I think I have at least 3 or 4 inches that came out of Ukraine, and so it's I'm pretty well stocked up. But it's kind of sad. But anyway, getting back to my Stalker 81, I'm looking forward to the 15.6 propellers that I hope to receive later on next week, and I can't wait to see how that's going to respond. And so it's just new. Also, I had moved the weight box because the plane. This is a modified Strega. Oh, here comes Gary Sinclair. My Strega is pretty modified. I had moved the engine back an inch. I even had put longer landing gear because of I knew I was going to be turning 15-inch props and that kind of stuff. Hello, Gary. How you doing?
Again?
Great. I was just explaining the Strega's progress and there's some of the modifications that I've done to it. And I had recently I had the lead out so far forward, and I figured that and if the engine and the CG being changed, that I needed to adjust the weight box a little bit. I've been told that it wouldn't make any difference, but I want to report that it seemed to make a difference. The way the plane comes out of the corners, it's much more stable. So I'm pretty excited about that. And this is probably unique to my Strega because of the way it's been heavily modified. I had probably changed things dramatically from when the designer had it designed around a Super Tiger 60, which is a lot lighter than my Stalker 81. So anyway, so how you been?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Just been taking trips around Washington, D.C. about 3 times.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
On with this trucker that's going around, driving around that convoy. I've been riding with him. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing.
Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, I was just went out flying today, Gary, and I was just talking about the experience out there today. It was a great day. The wind was a little bit of a concern, but it didn't make it unflyable. It's just had to deal with the buffeting of the wind. And I like being exposed to it because usually in the contest, in the second round is when you're going to be exposed to wind anyway. So it's something you need to address. Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
Got my new shirt.
Freedom. All right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it plain on the back as well, or there's something on the back?
No, it's free flight. It's a free flight shirt.
Okay. I have a free flight plane. I need to invite him in here. He actually he's a more of a free flighter than a control line guy, but he can fly control line. And
That's kind of like Jim Rhodes. He's that way. He flies a lot of free flight, and he's actually fairly good at it. It was always said when I was growing up that if you want to learn how to trim an airplane properly, hang out with a free flighter for a while.
Yes, I've heard that, and I just believed it. I've heard that so much that I just believed it. So I've always been very welcoming to anybody who does free flight, and who comes and visits our circle and stuff. I appreciate their insight. Hey, Howard, how are you doing?
Hi, Howard.
Okay.
Hi, Howard.
Got your Northwest Regional shirt on, I see, or at least I see part of it anyways.
Yeah. Right.
All right.
Yeah, I remember when Steve Woolley was on our club way back,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd be doing free flights or something like that, and he'd come up and take an airplane to somewhere or something, and just maybe blow some hot air on it and twist this and twist that, and then it'd just go a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's that's what kept me out of free flight was I didn't have those skills. And I was like 14, 15 years old and paying for all my modeling with my paper route. And I just couldn't see putting an engine on a plane and let it fly away
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to trim to get it back.
Even the ones rubber band powered, you hate to just.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, Lynn, thanks
Hey,
for coming
guys.
in. Lynn
we doing?
Burnell's in the
Lynn.
house. Doing
Yeah.
well.
That's good.
So I see you getting in arguments with the Moon Brothers now.
What about?
That's not her plane, that's mine. She just took pictures.
Yeah, no, I just didn't want them thinking that Naomi built it. She didn't build it.
Yeah, all
I,
that
wish,
hard work.
I wish she could build that good.
Yeah, you put in a supply of balsa and glue and have her go at it.
You better believe it. I'd just say, here, have at it. You can build all the planes for the season. That's what I'd say, for sure. I'll find some other things to do, no problem. Let's fly them all.
Yeah. Be careful, you may wind up doing the dishes and mopping the floors while she's building,
Yeah, that's okay. I do those things too. It's all good. I'm a man of many talents.
Yes, I understand that.
I think we all are.
Oh yeah,
I
we
used
all
to
have
be-
to. In the modern world, you just
The
can't
modern world, you can't just sit back and say, okay, here, you do it. I'll watch. Not happening.
I
Yeah.
used to be able to do that. That's why I miss my wife so much.
You're a lucky
I bet.
guy.
Yeah, I bet.
I
She
know where
was-
I know where I'd be. I'd be sitting out on the sidewalk. Wondering what happened. What happened?
Well, yeah. Well, I tell you, there's a lot to be said. I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss my wife. I love my wife.
Sorry.
But in some respects, it's kind of nice because I can sleep in as long as I want.
Yeah,
And-
until the dog wakes you up and says, "Hey, come on, enough's enough."
yeah. And things like working on plans till 3 o'clock in the morning. I
And
can do that.
hanging out with the Stunthangar crowd till 3 in the morning. Like all these things.
Yeah. I could, I couldn't do that before. So I guess with one loss, you get some minor gains, but I don't
Well,
know.
it's
If
funny
they're worth-
because-
I don't know if they're worth the loss.
Yeah. True enough.
Yeah.
Hey, John
So-
and Lynn, you guys probably can relate to this. I've been using 15-inch props, and I was just
Okay.
curious about your experience with 15-inch props. What brand
Yeah.
are you using, and what kind of pitches are you using on your big motors?
Oh,
I'm
my
running
goodness.
15.5 to 15.6.
Okay.
I'm running 14s.
That's
Yeah,
with your 81.
Yeah, the 81.
Yeah.
The 81 is now I have been cutting down to 15. I cut it down to about 14 and 3/4.
Okay.
Right now I'm using 5-inch pitches, but I'm expecting a 6-inch pitch later on this
Right.
week. And I'm
It'll
looking,
give you quite a bit more thrust.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But see, by cutting down to 14, you get rid of some of the precession, a little bit of it anyway.
Yeah. You kind of have to have a wiggly rudder if you're going to go up into the 15-inch prop range.
Yeah, I have the wiggly rudder. I've been
Okay.
using it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in play. It's
Yeah. It kind of has to be. Otherwise, it gets a little funky.
Well, if you
mhm.
go with a 14.6 or 7, and that big stalker's got enough grunt on the low end, it'll turn it and keep it in decent rate. And you're running it just about a fat 2-stroke, and you got all kinds of thrust, even though you've taken off an inch off off of what you guys are talking about prop wise. But I think you're getting pretty close to the same results and a little less precession. That's, of course, I always plan when I build, I always plan for down thrust and a little out thrust.
Mhm.
You know, I go by Ted Fancher's book. He once wrote that you just want enough out thrust to make sure there's no in thrust.
Right.
Sounds good.
And then
Good
Bob
point.
Wiley says, you know, about 2 inches of down thrust. And Dave Fitzgerald says, put a 64th piece of plywood under the leading edge of your stab to give it a little bit of positive. And I've done that, and I'll be honest with you, I started doing that in my case anyway.
Right.
I've had very little trouble
This is when you're building or after?
when I'm building.
Okay, so how much under the front of the stab?
1/64 inch plywood,
Okay, all
a little
right.
piece right up the front of the stab, a
Okay,
little tiny bit of positive.
okay.
I usually go between 1.5 and 2 degrees down thrust. And like I say, just enough out thrust to make sure you don't have any in thrust.
That's
'Cause
right.
you don't want in thrust.
No.
And the planes, you know, I bench trim them, you know, get everything working correctly before
That's
I
right.
take them out to fly. And I've had very little trouble getting them to trim out,
Yeah,
and they don't hunt.
that's important.
Well, yeah, not hunting is takes, you know, some planes before I started doing that, some planes you had your mind was racked with fear with the plane going up and down as you go around the circle.
Come on, John, you're taking all the fun out of it.
Well, yeah, that could be called fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I call it pucker factor.
Yeah, well, this is true. It's nice if you can fly an airplane around in a circle level and you don't have to be looking at it every second.
Exactly.
So
And
that,
it gives you a better feel as you start your maneuvers and you're coming from the level flight.
What's that, Gary?
so that is not necessarily you at the handle causing that then, if a plane wants to keep.
Well,
No,
you
no.
can cause it. That's called
It
PIO, pilot induced oscillation. But you know, if you're pretty sure that you're not doing it at the handle, and it's probably coming from the prop precession and other things going on with the airplane.
Yeah, generally the alignment of something's out. Something's
Yeah.
not right.
Yeah, and you know, if it's not right that you can't fly comfortably without having to keep your eyes on the plane all the time at
Yeah.
5 foot altitude, if you can fly it and know it's there and it's stable, it's going to be stable, more than likely going to be stable through the rest of the maneuvers. Now there's oftentimes the odd exception that makes the rule. I've seen that happen,
Oh, most definitely.
but most of the time you get it where it's flying level and straight and true and not hunting in level flight. It will fly much better in the maneuvers.
Yeah, even like when you do the square maneuvers at the top, you want the plane to fly straight. If it's hunting, it's going to ruin the maneuver as far as its appearance. So
Oh, yeah.
you want to get a plane that will just track.
Well, this is why the guys like Paul Walker and stuff, they're very big on the fact that you've got to get it flying flat and level to start with before you even think about all the other stuff, because if it isn't, it's never going to fly right. And
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, when you trim a new airplane out, you've got to get it so that the wings are level and the thing will track smooth, and you get all these things sorted out first. Because if you don't, well, now you're just beating yourself up because you're trying to do things with it that the airplane isn't ready to do to start with. It's not flying properly.
Right.
I mean, if you have a plane that's out of trim, you probably shouldn't be doing hardly any stunts with it, because otherwise you're not getting anywhere. I mean, I get it. If you're flipping it over on its back to see if the wings are level both ways and so forth, I get that. But beyond that, you really shouldn't be doing too much with it until you get the thing so that it's pretty much somewhat dialed in.
Right.
Well, if you just saw what Gordon did in bench trimming, that little red twin that Howard now has, and how he bench trimmed it to get both engines and the nacelles and the wings and everything all properly aligned up, and the flaps equal both directions, and all of that.
Huge amount
It's
of
no
work.
wonder the plane flies so well.
Well, the thing is, and I look at it for me, is that I won't build a twin. Not yet. And I'll tell you why. I can't trim out a single. I mean,
Double
the last thing I need is a second motor to try and deal with. I can't get the first one proper yet. I mean, I have a couple of airplanes that I would say are pretty close. But to say that I have anything perfectly trimmed out, I can't say that. I don't, because you know what? When I land, if I have nagging little things that are bugging me after a flight, I know darn well it's not right yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, if it's doing something funny at the top of the square 8, or when it turned down into the square 8, or whatever, if it's doing something funny and I can't figure it out, the last thing I need is a second motor to be dealing with. I'm still dealing with the first one.
Well, with twins, with IC engines, with twins, I've got that one right over there on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That twin fly street, and that's got a high aspect ratio wing and all that. It actually flies pretty darn good. But
they can fly well. I mean, Bob Hunt and those guys have proven that for a long time, that they can fly really well.
Absolutely.
You know?
The problem with
your buddy
running
there.
IC engines, though, Len, is you got to be a motor nut.
Oh, for sure. I just look at the stuff that Windy went through when he was doing the B-25, the A-26, and the Tiger Cat. I mean, I couldn't do that. There's no friggin' way. I haven't got that much time and patience to deal with it. I can't. So for me to even think about a twin, unless it's just for a sport flying thing or something to play with, yeah, I could do that. But to go out and say, well, I'm going to go out and start doing competitive stunt now with a twin, I don't think that's ever going to happen for me. I'm getting too old to deal with that.
Hey, I got a phone call from Gordon the other day, and Howard might have heard about this already, but his new twin is what he calls a one airplane now. Everything's all glued on and set up and aligned and all that. It's ready to start covering and painting.
Cool.
So he's going to have it out. I asked him about, how's his sensitivity to dizziness, or to, how us old guys go up overhead and we fall down, and Gordon has an interesting cure for that. He gets Brent Williams to go out in a circle with him, and when he's maneuvering, Brent grabs his belt from behind.
Keep
he
him
says
stable.
when he does that, he says, I feel great. I feel like I'm, in the
Locked
groove
in.
with it. Yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah.
That's
I remember him telling me, you talking about Jim Rhodes or Gordon?
Gordon.
Because I think Jim Rhodes has the same ideas. I remember speaking to Jim Rhodes last week. Matter of fact, he should be heading out to VSC.
Yeah, he's on his way to VSC right now.
Speaking of VSC,
There's Dan.
here's Denny in a hotel room, right, Denny?
Evening, guys.
Hey, Dennis, you're
How
there.
you doing?
Doing well. Are you in Arizona?
And we're sitting here in Tucson. We made it.
All
Sitting here in
right.
a hotel room.
Hey, way to go.
Woohoo.
Yeah, long drive.
Did you take your Sheik's airplane?
Did I take what again?
Your Jack Sheik's airplane?
I sure did. In
Oh,
fact, I had a heck of an omen. We were driving through Clovis, New Mexico, zooming along through the town, changing directions, trying to stay on Highway 70. Come across this airplane parked in the middle of the town. Got halfway past, and I said, "Holy crap, that's an F-111!" And that's the airplane that inspired Jack Sheik's and the Swinger.
really?
Wow. Isn't that
Yeah,
neat?
so I don't know. Is that a good omen, a bad omen, or of no consequence? One of the three.
Well, I hope it's no consequence, because it's obviously parked, which tells you something.
Well, yeah, that's it. It was maybe the bad omen is that it had the wings folded back. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope that doesn't happen, but
No.
well, I think it'll fly just fine. You've flown it, right?
what's that?
You have flown it, right?
Oh, I've flown it. Yeah, I built it in 2008. So I've flown it quite a bit, actually. So
Oh,
Good.
excellent.
So have
in
you
fact,
seen?
I don't know if Glenn remembers it, but I've flown it at Brodak a couple of times too. So
I'm trying to picture it. What does it look like?
well, biggest thing I guess I could say is it's a swept wing. It's blue and white. White on top, blue on the bottom, bunch of stripes. Yeah, I don't have any pictures of it with me.
I'm
I'll see if
sorry,
I can send some over.
Yeah. I just can't picture it. I'm sure if I see it, I'll know it, but I don't.
Yeah, it might trigger a memory there because
I'm sure it
every
will.
time when I've had it there, I'm sure that you've been there.
Yeah.
So you may or may not have,
I just may not have
left any
noticed it.
impression
Yeah.
whatsoever. So
Yeah, I
don't
may
know.
not. If I saw you fly it, I'd remember it.
Yeah. But anyhow,
Okay.
how you guys all doing?
Doing well.
Doing good.
You know,
Just-
for a guy that doesn't have much hair on top of that, got one little lock up there that wants to go askew.
Is there what? Just 3 people here tonight?
No, there's 7 of us.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on my phone here, and of course the display is totally different. I can't get a panoramic view, or I should say, a full board view with it. So okay.
Yeah, there's 7 of
Have
us
you
so
got-
far. And let me catch
Right.
up on the chat box. Matter of fact, let me welcome Brendan and Angstrom. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate that. So I have Mark Lumen. He says, and he's also he's a subscriber to our YouTube channel. He says,
Excellent.
does got you like, and we'll be in a short. Buried in 5G radar altimeter issues. Howard Rush.
That sounds a whole lot more important than, or a whole lot antsier than trying to get into Stunthangar chat. That's for sure. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
So anyway.
Greg Biswick says, Charles, what fuel mix are you running on your stalker? I was talking about my stalker 81 earlier, waiting for people to come in. I actually mixed my own fuel, Craig. I actually I purchased a 5-gallon jug of methanol, and I've purchased Klotz synthetic oil, and I actually mix my own. So I mix it at 18% oil, and then that's about it. There's no nitromethane. There's nothing else but that, and it's just runs consistently. The motor does not overheat. It runs the same from start to finish. It's
Get a good needle too.
yeah, it's a good needle. I mean, I don't have to change the needle. I mean, if I'm changing it, it's just because I want a little more or a little less. But yeah, it's I could leave the needle and go start it tomorrow or the next week, and it's just been working well.
That's
So
the way it's supposed to be.
I will try that mix on my stalker. I have one stalker engine. It's still brand new. I haven't broken it in, and I got the airplane ready to glue together today. So
Oh,
What
very good.
stalker's that, Led?
51 side exhaust,
Oh, you'll love it.
brand new.
Heard that is
You'll
a
love
great
it.
motor.
So I'm excited about running that in my new profile that I've got it all covered, and it's just ready to assemble, like glue the wing and tails in tomorrow.
Yeah, I come
Go
come
ahead.
across a stalker in my brother's stuff, and I can't find any marking on it to say what it is or anything. My gut feel is that it's a 60. It's about that big physically, but I can't tell for sure. Is there like a secret marking or something like that might help me tell what it is?
Look under the exhaust on the side of the cylinder or on the other side. But of course, the bypass bulge is in front. So, look in there. That's where mine seem to be marked.
Yeah, this is a side exhaust engine. It's got the screw-in back plate and stuff like that. Looks like it's plain bearing. I say it looks like it looks like a really high quality Tiger 60 is what it looks like. But
It runs like
it looks
that.
pretty
too.
tall, you know.
Yeah,
Now,
Long stroke.
does it say stalker on it?
It doesn't have any marking on it that I can find.
Wow.
Well, when you get home, bring it on and put it on so we can see it. Maybe we can help you. Might not be a stalker, it might be a discovery.
You know, or it could be even a double star, maybe.
Okay.
Double star.
Yeah,
So
double
Discovery
star
is
looks-
a different engine than the Stalker is. I guess I thought they were the same.
No,
and a,
Okay,
and a
if it's a
double
retro
star 6.
Discovery, any of you guys have any insights on that? How to tell on that?
well,
I think-
it prefers to run side mounted. I can tell you that. The competition ones have got the engine mounted horizontally, you know, the cylinder horizontally. And that's where it prefers, the way it prefers to run. Doesn't like running inverted.
Okay.
I imagine it wouldn't be a bad upright. I've seen Belco, but he's running his own engines. I've seen Belco likes to mount his engines, at least the ones I've seen, upright.
Mhm.
Is that about right, Howard? You've seen it there.
I don't remember. I got a picture somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howard showed us pictures of a Belco with an upright engine, which was totally unexpected.
Right.
Remember, you had some really neat pictures of some airplanes there, but that wasn't what I expected. I thought it would be either side mount or inverted with the Venturi up on top and everything like that, but it was upright, the cylinder on top, and it really surprised me. I remember when you showed us that. But
Well, it'll probably be that Super Tiger 60 run, you know, that you remember from back in the day. I think what the Ukrainians and the Moldovians and the Russians have done is taken the baffle piston about as far as you could go, you know, and you know, you're gonna get more power out of a Schnurley, you know, but it's going to be a different type of run, you know.
well, they were really trying to clone a Tiger 60, weren't they?
Well,
They
that was
come
their
right
that
down
was
to it, I mean.
their that was their what they were looking at to, as they were building them. Yes, so I would say yeah, they were trying to make a better Super Tiger.
Yeah,
60.
but they were trying to run a Tiger 60 kind of run, certainly not a high RPM screamer or anything like that.
No,
Not a pipe run or anything. So,
No,
okay.
I gather that was the deal with the double star as well, the double star 60,
Okay.
because it looks a lot like a Tiger 60. It looks almost identical. I have one and it's weird.
Yeah.
Like you say, it looks kind of like a high-end Super Tiger 60 is what it looks like.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that they left all the carbuncles off it or something like that.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
It's just beautifully smooth and shaped and simplified and everything like that. So,
well, and at least in the beginning, I don't know how it is now, but the modelers that were making these engines had access to some of the metallurgy that the Russian space program was using, and they had this high silicone aluminum they were using for pistons.
yeah.
And that and then combined with what they're doing for the cylinders and the cylinder walls.
Yeah, I'm
made
pretty
for-
sure this is an ABC. So,
Yeah. Made for an outstanding run and a very good, long-lasting engine. You know,
Okay.
you had, and when I started with the Stalkers, I decided that I got mine from Madusa out of England, and for some time that was the only place out of the Ukraine that you could get them. And he sent along a little sheet about how to run them and break them in, and he suggested no nitro, just methanol and synthetic oil, 17 to 18%. And so that's what I did.
Mhm.
And I have had super runs on the thing. Just they run perfectly for me. And I don't have the power of a pipe ship, obviously. So I put a 51. It's funny though that Pathfinder LE is not a small airplane, you know. And mine, I couldn't tell you what the weight is right now, but it's not a real lightweight. But that Stalker 51 flew that thing just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
I've watched, Tom Dixon run his stalkers, and of course he imports them and everything like that. And I think that they look like they run terrific. And I've seen them run 40s and 51s and whatever else. So.
The 40 got a real bad reputation when they first started bringing them over, because guys expected them to really have, they're comparing them with Schnurly engines.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get them to run like a Schnurly engine, and they won't run like a Schnurly engine. They're not a Schnurly engine.
Yeah.
You know?
You leave the prop off, it still won't wind up like a Schnurly. So
Right.
they just don't run that fast. Any
They
questions?
just won't do it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Huh.
Okay.
Let me say hi to
Well, anyhow,
Phil.
we're here and set to have a good week. Little surprised, I've only met one other person here so far. I ran into Mark Gerber here at the hotel, but
Oh, my cousin
yeah,
Mark.
we went out to the field around 4:30. Yeah, maybe a little breezy, not that bad. And there was nobody there. Watched a bunch of people walking their dogs, and that was it. So
You're at
I'm hoping
Silverville?
that's not a sign that they don't have a big entry or something. But
No, they're just still coming in. Go there at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. The Tucsonians, they're done and out of there by noon.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
Well,
say
that's what
hello
I'm
to my
kinda
cousin
counting on.
Mark. Say hello to my cousin Mark, though, would you?
Yeah, the number one goal for tomorrow is to get handle settings with all these new lines I have on 2 different airplanes, and number 1.5 is to get make sure the speed is right. And based on what we did in Las Vegas, I'm not too worried about that. And it's going to be after that. The number 3 is get the see if we can get the pilot reintroduce him to flying control line models, because he hasn't touched anything since November. So
Dennis,
So
I know exactly what you're saying there. I went out today, my first time, to actually put a modern pattern in since April. I had forgotten it'd been so long since I'd flown a modern pattern, but I've been flying the Ringmaster. It was the only thing I'd flown. So I finally got the thing to run right today and put in 4 patterns. And golly, overheads are tough to make them look right.
well, I'm getting of that certain age, if you will, or I have to work my way into overheads and things like that. And usually it hasn't been too hard. It hasn't taken me too long, but it's just a question. It has to be done,
Yeah.
And brought a Ringmaster, brought an old timer, brought the Swinger, and I'll probably be flying them in that order, So got them set on short tanks for everything, and like I say, the first thing is to get a handle setting, and a 1-minute flight you can learn an awful lot. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
handle
but you
set, then we can
gotta
start flying.
you're gonna have the extra problem that you gotta learn what a motor sounds like again.
Yeah,
Been flying these electrics too long, just going.
yeah.
Well, he
I
knows
tell you what,
what a
that was
motor
the-
sounds like. It's the IC that he's got to relearn.
I tell you, that was the weird part today. Was I was able to talk to the guys outside the circle. I said, "Well, your wings are level. Don't worry about the wings level. Tell me what my total flight time is." 4 flights. Nobody got my total flight time, but I was doing the pattern in 10 laps, and then it would quit.
You can't complain
Good
about
to
that.
go. It's perfect.
Well, I don't know whether to cut it down or leave it alone. I'm gonna wait till it goes.
Leave it alone. 10
gonna wait
laps
till I-
after the pattern is perfect. That's what you
Yeah, that
want.
allows if you make
Yeah.
a mistake and add an extra level lap or something,
Yeah,
you've still got, you know,
still got plenty.
flight time.
Well, the battery's got plenty of juice left in them. I come back, everything's at 3.8 to 3.82. So I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah,
so
leave it alone.
It seemed like
If
it's
you get
working
tired of
fine.
flying or find it's, routinely too much, start taking it off 5 seconds at a time. It's about 1 lap at a time. So,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. I just the only problem I really had, it was flying a little faster than I wanted to fly, and I left my prop
when you
wrenches
slow
on,
it
so I
down,
couldn't.
those laps are going to go away. So,
Yeah.
I am
Oh, yeah.
curious of what Brendan's doing.
We're putting on the tips to our elevator and our stabilizer.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So sanding down the tips, the grain tips that go in the opposite direction.
That's a good thing to have there. Keeps it from curling on you.
Keeps them bowing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was showing them how, if you just got the regular elevator and whatnot, how it can flex just a little bit. So the
Yeah.
grain going the opposite direction can help. Hey, we were going to ask, as we're going to build this, how do you monocoat this? Do you monocoat in advance before trying to put in the hinges? We were going to go with the CA hinges and go that route, but like, do you
Right,
monocoat
those,
and put the slots in, or what?
first off, if you're going to use the type of hinges I'm thinking you're going to be using, they're like a flat piece of cloth with some plastic in it. Don't do it.
It's actually just it almost just looks straight up like paper. They're CA hinges. You just cut them to size, and then
Excuse me.
No, don't use
I only
those.
have one
there's a
recommendation.
couple of things that I've done that might work. First off, when I use CA hinges, one of the things I like to do is cut them in half so they're narrower. That means they give less resistance. All right, they move a little easier. The neat thing about using CA hinges when you monocoat is that it holds the surfaces in place, holds them together while you cover. And then what I do is I also believe in sealed hinge lines. So what I do is I cover the elevator and I cover it right through the hinge gap, down to the hinge, back up the other side. Usually stop it and then cut the cover the stabilizer, to overlap that seam right at the hinge line. All right. The other way that works really well for hinging it is to use the monocoat as a hinge by doing an over-under hinge with monocoat. Do you ever make cloth hinges? You ever use cloth hinges?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Do you have the sheet, the instruction sheet that came with the monocoat?
I haven't. Yeah, I'm sure I do. I've got like 30 rolls of monocoat around here. So
Yeah. Okay. The reason I asked that is they used to have the instructions for how to make the over-under hinges with it. It works really well. What you do there is you take a couple of strips of monocoat, 3/4 of an inch wide, and you put one on the table, adhesive side up, the other set it over the top, adhesive side down, and you let it overlap about 3/16 of an inch.
okay.
And very carefully tack it together, iron the sticky sides together. All right. Cut it into 1 inch wide strips, and then you just basically you alternate the strips over and then under, stabilizer to elevator, on the top of the stabilizer, under the elevator. The next one goes under the stabilizer on top of the elevator. You keep going back and forth like that. And it makes for a very tough, very flexible hinge too. But,
There's only
yeah,
one
back
thing.
to your original question, if you don't want to seal the hinge lines or anything like that, if you want to use CA hinges, you'd probably be best off covering both surfaces and then hinging the surfaces through the monocoat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to get
Yeah, it's a real pain in the butt. If you're going to use CAs, it would be a pain to do it any other way. But like I say, I really like using sealed hinge lines, so I use the monocoat as a seal, and then the monocoat, when you do it that way, I put it on the top and the bottom, bring it together. The monocoat itself becomes a full span hinge, so it takes all the stress off of the CA hinges too. So
Yeah.
pays your
But
money,
the-
takes your choice.
The problem with the CA hinges is they're just stiff enough that you get in a situation where you've got a diminished line pull. You may not have enough power there to really move them as crisp as you might need to at that point in the pattern, which can cause you problem. I agree with Denny's method of, I've used them too, the monocoat over under hinges. They work really good. They're easy to make and they match your color. What I always do is I put a little strip of monocoat across from the top of the stab, down the back side of the stab, and under the stab. It only has to go over about a half an inch to 3/4 inch on each side. You do that on the flap as well. Now, when you put your monocoat hinges on, that is sealed. And you put your monocoat on, you come in and you go right to the, like on the top of the stab, you go right to the edge of the stab and you cover those monocoats. You're trapping them in between 2 layers of monocoat. And you do the same
Yeah, they're
thing.
completely locked down when you do that, and it actually helps hide the hinge a little bit too. So
And it also seals the hinge so that no oil or very little, it'll be hard for oil to get into that area and mess up your airplane.
He flies
and of course,
electric.
you're not going to worry about oil in the hinge line, though, are you?
No, I forgot he's flying electric. So yeah,
We
you don't
worry
have to
about
do
no
it, but
stinking oil.
but anyway, so take your choices on it. Any system will work in it at his level right now. Probably just a good, secure, easy moving hinge is what he needs.
Yeah.
I guess the other question becomes is that the way the fanterized plan shows it, the stabilizer has a flat back to it while the elevator is angled. Is that par for what most people do? Because traditionally I've angled both sets. I'm getting a head nod there from Phil. So
Yeah, a lot of the new stuff, a lot of the stuff there in one period for several years, everybody used flat stabs and pie-shaped elevators, and they both work. Now I'm kind of leaning back now to the dual pie-shaped, and I'm even thinking about using a pointed. The last article from Daily was how sharp is your stab. I thought about trying that, but we'll see. I don't know. I might try it on the
I've been back and forth on it. I've started radiusing the hinge line on the wing trailing edge or on the stabilizer trailing edge, and then of course radiusing the leading edge of the flap or the elevator. And the only reason I was doing that is I think it encourages a smoother airflow transition from a fixed surface to the moving surface.
I think it does
And
too.
of course, I'm using a sealed hinge line, so I'm not getting any blow up, up through the gap or anything like that. So I think it results in no separation wake, right at the back of the wing or the stab. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you
Well,
what, if you ever want a real mind blower, build one without the hinge line sealed and fly it a few times. Then go home and seal the hinge line and go back out and fly it. You will be stunned.
Yeah.
Interesting thing that Gordon taught me, and it's been in the last few planes that we built, is it used to be, and a lot of guys still do it, they'll make the stab, say on a full-blown stunt ship, they'll make the stab like half an inch or 3/8 of an inch, and they'll make the elevator 1/8 of an inch thinner. And the idea is to give you a little dead spot around neutral. Problem is you get that little dead spot dead spot when you're trying to do intersections.
Mm-hmm.
And so Gordon now insists on having the same size elevator as a stab so that there's eliminate the, and I guess that's what Walker's doing now. He's going with, he's not even putting a taper on his elevators. They're straight back. It's flat, the elevator straight back. If they're 3/8 of an inch, there'll be 3/8 at the leading edge, 3/8 at the trailing edge, squared off. And they say that it really reacts fast when you put some controls to it. Chirp, chirp.
Yeah, well, great. Hey, thank you for that pause. Hey, Phil, thank you for coming in. And thank you, Mark Lumen, for coming in. And we're at 24 concurrent viewers. Actually, we have 32 concurrent viewers and only 11 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that, push that, hit that.
Why am I not?
I'm sorry.
Get the likes up. So, and don't forget the super chat is also available there. And also new members, there's 0 new members. So hit the join button as well, which is right below.
Yeah.
And
go for it, guys. I mean, good grief. I'm telling you, too many things going on tonight.
yeah.
Let me get
You know, I wanted to
look what
say,
I
I wanted to
got
put in my 2 cents. Hey, what you got there?
I bought me a watch.
I bought you a watch, but you're
Yeah,
retired.
I've been without a watch for a month. My old one went belly up.
You don't need a watch. You're retired.
easy now.
I need
Easy
to know
now.
what time I have to change the channel.
Tell you a little secret. I don't know.
Well
I've
said,
been
John.
retired now 6 years. I'm still trying to figure out how in the heck I ever had time to work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's the
I know what
truth.
you mean too. I used to be able to build airplanes like crazy, and now I can't get anything done. So
That sounds familiar. My wife was just telling me last night if I start anything else before I finish something, she's going to take something out in the backyard and throw it up against the wall. I said, well, maybe I better finish something. But I'm working on it. She's determined to get me to finish some of these airplanes. I got one downstairs. It was started before I built this house. We've been here long enough. Well, 30 years. So it's time.
Oh my
It's time
goodness.
to hurry up and get get the plane finished. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it.
yeah,
I am painting on it. Today was a beautiful day to paint, and I was out looking for a new building. So, hey,
Did
what
you
can I say?
Did you get the pattern sheet that what? It's,
I haven't got it printed yet, John. I hadn't even had a good chance to look at it.
well, you did
No,
get it.
I've been.
though.
We had a storm here a week or two ago, and my backyard building is about ready to give up the ghost. And I've got some
Uh-oh.
stuff in there I can't afford to lose. So we've been out looking at buildings, and this gentleman had me believing that the man-made material for siding was this costs a lot more, but it lasts a lot better. So I went to a different manufacturer today, and she said, "Oh no, that's much cheaper than real wood. It's much cheaper and it lasts longer than real wood." So I said, "Okay, well, I think I'll go with this company." I don't think their buildings are any better, but at least they're trying to be honest with me, or I feel like they are. Maybe they got
Yeah.
me snowed, but I'd rather deal with somebody that's being honest with me. If they call me, "I think you're an SOB," if they just be honest with me, I'd rather deal with him than somebody that's fibbing at me and trying to make me, trying to blow smoke up my
Right.
backside. So I just I talked to them, and I drove about 40 miles to go look at another building, the one that I really want. And I live 4 miles too far from deliver it free.
oh geez.
I said, ain't that something? So anyway, we're going to get it, or we're going to try to get it, but we'll find out for sure tomorrow. They're supposed to give me the final price tomorrow because I insisted on doing a few changes to it. And it's still being a 24. Yeah. Okay. With airplanes out. Okay. Anyway, we did go flying today and we did have a ball, although one of the guys did lose an airplane. So
Oh, that's too
Oh.
bad.
yeah, he ran out of fuel at the wrong time.
Oh, no.
That was just not a good deal. It was a great little airplane.
But I'm intrigued, Phil. What plane did you start over 30 years ago that you haven't finished?
Bearcat. It's a Bearcat profile. The one that who's the guy in Texas? I forgot his name.
Frank Williams.
Frank Williams designed the
Terrific.
Tiger 60s on the inside of it. The plane is finished. It's got a coat of blue on it. It's just not completely finished. So I've got to hurry up and completely finish the thing and get it flying. And I want to get that one done here pretty quick. And then I'm going to move on to try to finish my BBQB. And then Tommy's Ombre. And then I don't know what's next. I've forgotten. But somehow in all this, I need to finish the Mobest. Or I need to build a Mobest and finish my Pathfinder. And I just can't find time to do all this. So I'm going to have to just do one at a time. I've just elected to do, okay, which one is the closest to finished? The Bearcat. So we're going to go ahead and paint this monster and get it flying. And then we're going to go with the next one, just whatever I think is the next closest to finished. Try to wipe out 6 airplanes. Not wipe out, complete 6 airplanes. I can wipe them out with the best of them. I've already proved that. Boy, I can wipe them out with the best of them. But I tell you what's funny, that I started flying a Skyray last year as a trainer, taking that with me. And that thing Bob Hunt was talking about that goes on this elevator back there, just sticks back,
Right.
whatever the thickness is of the elevator, it comes back that far. And you got 2 plates that come over your elevator. And then you got a vertical piece back here that's about 3/8 inches tall. So it sticks up about an 1/8 inch above, an 1/8 inch below, just a flat plate back there.
Right.
Well, that's about as aerodynamic as brick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised how much better it makes that airplane fly. I mean, you'd be absolutely stunned how much better it makes that airplane fly.
Wow. I have not tried that yet. I forgot to do that on my Strega.
You need to do that. You need to put that on Strega, and just one of the guys is putting it on a Ringmaster. Of course, Ringmaster tail is like this. So he just made the piece rounded and he's putting it on there. He said, I just don't want to glue it on there. I don't trust it's going to work. I said, I don't trust they're going to let you fly that in the contest like that. But tape it on. Bob said something about taping the thing on. So just tape it on and see what happens. If it works, fine, leave it. If they won't allow it in the contest, peel the tape off the bloody thing. But I mean, it can't hurt to try it. I know it worked on that Skyray. That thing's wild. I think Skyray's the right word for it. It's 35 size SIG trainer. And it really works well. I'm really intrigued by how well it works. But I'm also trying to figure out how to slow a Fox 35 down. That thing wants to go fast. So I'm putting a new needle valve in it, and then I'm going to start carving me one of those little blocks with the information somebody gave me we got the other week. I'm going to try to carve one of those little blocks and see if I can't straighten this thing out. But I'm telling you, this is a real challenge trying to go back to Fox 35s and making these things work after, all the crap trying to get away from them and then saying, well, I'll never, I'll never even try to won't even use it for fishing weight.
Yeah, it is done.
But I still love them for old time, but for a modern airplane, I just don't care anything about a Fox 35 anymore. But I put one on this thing and I started flying it. And I'm telling you, I didn't remember a Fox 35 put out so darn much oil. God, they're messy. But they are a lot of fun. It is a whole lot of fun to play with. So we're trying it again. I don't know. I got told I was making a big mistake for skipping or getting out of the Fox 35 business. But I'm telling you, this darn Fox it is a lot of fun. I'll have to give it that. It's like going back to your childhood and playing with something you played with to start with. Except I honestly learned on OS Max. I never owned a Fox 35 till I met Tom Looper. Of course, I've been flying with him for 47 years. So, I mean, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get that out of your way.
Yeah.
We're good. So
Talk about
John,
flight,
I'm
but
surprised you didn't go to Tucson.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll put them in the morning and bring them.
Well, I don't have anything to fly.
And
I could have gone there and hung around, because even just going there and hanging around, I think you've done that,
yeah, I did that once. I went to fly, and it became very evident that wasn't going to work when I started turning. I did a 13-second lap.
Oh,
Then I did a 10-second loop. I think Denny was there that year. I did a 10-second loop. And I got about a third of the way through, well, maybe halfway through the pattern, and I forgot the woman's name now that was judging that year. And she came over and said, "Your loops are impressive as heck, but you got to carry a little bit more fuel." I said, "It had 4 ounces in it. How much is it supposed to carry?" She said, "Yeah, I think you might have missed on the needle valve just a little bit." Yeah.
is that the gal
Mary
from
Gephardt.
Australia?
Mary
Give us a
Gephardt.
peek over your shoulder,
Mary
Lynn.
Gephardt.
What's
No,
that?
I just
Give
that's
us
the
a
year
peek over your shoulder, man. What you got in the shop there? Is that your bear?
No, it's my next airplane. I've already on to another one.
You're next to next.
You've already
Yeah.
finished the bear?
No, I haven't finished the bear. I've got it ready for dope, but I haven't got any finish on it yet. But now I've already started and built another profile.
You the man.
What is
I-
that?
This is a scratch built except for the wing. The wing is an old Magnum wing.
Oh,
Is that sheeted? That's
And
a sheeted.
it's a sheeted wing, a sheeted Magnum wing, and it's got 2 inches out of the center section, so it's a little bit smaller. And I'm gonna run my Tiger 51 in it.
Nice.
Wow.
Mikey will love that.
Okay.
I like the canopy. That's sharp.
Yeah, it's a nice sleek looking design, and I just sat down and drew it up.
Yeah.
So I told Naomi, I said, come up with a name for it. She hasn't given me one yet. I'm sure she will. That's what I've been working on this week. It's not glued together yet, so that's tomorrow morning's project, is to glue it all together. I've got the flaps are hinged into the wing, and the tails are all hinged and glued in. So it's just a matter of gluing the major components together, and yeah, it'll be ready for fillets and dope by the end of tomorrow.
Well, since you're in Canada, we could call it the Slippery Moose.
That's a lot of lettering.
Guys that can design and build on the fly like that just make me sick. I have to have a plan. I have to have a plan to build a birdhouse. And he can sit down and build an airplane and come up with something look that good. That's just sick.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it came
I
out
like
pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it.
I would be too. That's nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it
Very nice.
should be a nice flying plane. And what I've
Looks
done
like
is
it.
I've used old parts from various airplanes. Like I used that wing up, and this landing gear was built back in 1987. This is a 1987 landing gear out of a stunter I had in '87.
All right.
How about
What's
that?
that funny marking you got on there?
On that,
What do you mean?
that spat.
It's just a spat with a Canada logo on it and some ink
A
lines.
leaf on it.
All right, looks good.
But I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna sand that all out and do them red like the airplane, but it's
It looks
coming.
nice, Lynn. It's really sharp.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
it
like
should be
your
all
cheek
right.
cowl there. Did you mold that cheek cowl or is it carved? I couldn't tell.
No, I carved that. I just glued two 1/2-inch sheets of balsa and just carved away at it. Carved another pound of wood onto the floor.
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at this carving lumber, I'll tell you. But this airplane, I'm figuring it should come out around 55 ounces.
I would
Something in that
suggest
neighborhood.
that you take a look at the Pathfinder nose and put a little bit of balsa on the outboard side to kind of fair that.
Yes,
black
yes, I know
part.
what you mean, around the Venturi and so forth.
Right.
Yes, I will do that. Yes, I will, for sure.
That really cleans
Yeah,
the nose up.
Yeah, I just haven't got it done. I will do that.
Oh, cool. It's gonna
That's
look
really
great.
sharp, Lynn.
Thank you. Well, we'll see what it looks like in a week or so. I should have it done in 2 weeks. A week to 2 weeks, it'll be done. I want to have that one right for the beginning of the season because I want to have lots of time to fly it so that I can take it to Brodax and fly it there in profile.
Is the
You know,
border
you-
open now?
You're not gonna bring the Spitfire then, darn.
Well, I'm going to bring one or the other, whatever's flying better. But I will
Yeah.
bring you the plans for the Spitfire either way.
Okay.
I will have the
Sounds good.
plans for you, Phil.
That
Okay.
sounds good.
Is the
That's a
border
good
open?
one.
Oh yeah, it's open. There's still something we have to do about a test, but it's not the expensive one anyway.
Oh, that's good.
So that's
That's
okay.
good.
I got plenty of blank forms if you need something. So.
So I'm excited.
Mark, are you home yet?
No, I'm still up in Detroit. So
Any idea when you're gonna be home?
next Saturday probably.
For a while?
I think I'll leave here next Saturday morning and I'll be there for about 10 days or so. So yeah, maybe we can work out that following weekend and do a
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think we'll be able to do that. I've got my stuff flying again finally, so I'm ready to come down and give it a try. I was worried there for a while because I hadn't flown. I seriously had not put a modern pattern up. I hadn't done an hourglass since last April. And I was
Wow.
scared today to fly that first one. And I finally, the plane felt so good. I went ahead and did it. And Tommy said, "What the heck were you scared of?" I don't know.
crashing.
Yeah, well,
Let's
What are we all scared of?
let's be serious. I have made my share of balsa dust. I would like to not do that for a while.
There you go.
So it worked out very well. And this other one I want to fly won't make balsa dust. It'll make carbon fiber dust, which is much more expensive.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hope they
Mike,
don't
thanks for
dust
coming
that
in.
one.
Who's leaving?
Mike Lonky's in the house. Thank you, Mike, for coming in.
Mike's in the house. Good deal.
I'm
Thank you.
going
If we get to that
There he
weekend,
is.
whatever, we might if I get some engine runs on I might can do a short maiden on the Hellcat.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'd like to see that Hellcat, that sharp looking airplane.
I still
It
got some
is.
finishing to do on it, but I need to run the engine in a little bit too, and then I can get the Vector put back together maybe that week too. Just depends on I've been away for a while, so there's probably lots of stuff to do at home. Yeah.
Well, when we get down there, when we're not flying, Trey and I can be used for more than just two bad examples. We can help you put that fuselage back together.
Oh yeah.
And we've both had done our share of reconstruction.
That's right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, but that little Vector, Charles, you wouldn't believe it. It does just like your SV11. It turns much better outside than inside. Outside is spooky fast. Inside, not so much. You got to really pull inside, but outside is spooky fast.
Wow.
That thing really turns. But
Well, thanks for saying that. I feel so much better.
yeah, I had to put. I went up one line on the up. I went one hole up on my handle to give me a little bit more throw. And Tommy says it's just your hands gotten stiff. He said, "Move your hands." So I moved my hands. He says, "No, your hands gotten stiff. That's all it is." I said, "I got news. All of me's gotten stiff. I got to get limbered up again." But I'm working on it. But it was just so much fun to get out there and fly again today. I can't tell you.
How's
It
the
had been
shoulder?
long. I was really worried about could I do it. Do what?
How's the shoulder? Okay.
Shoulder's fine. I didn't have any
Good.
trouble at all with the shoulder today. The only thing gave me
Good.
any trouble at all was just my balance, bending over backwards far enough to do the overhead. I got a little disoriented one time, but I think that's more the new glasses than anything else. These are a little bigger than what the others were. So I got tired of when I'm working at the grinder, the stuff popping up in my face, and I had to put a face shield over it. And I said, well, I'm tired of all that crap. So I got a little bit bigger glasses, but I didn't think about the fact you don't have the peripheral outside the lenses that you had with the others. So when you go to fly, there's distortion out here at the end of the glasses. And that, you think the plane's coming at that, and all of a sudden it looks like it's doing this. And I hadn't counted on that. So I went and cleaned up my old glasses and flew one flight with the old glasses, and everything was fine. So I'll just keep my old glasses for a while. These are great for everything else, but for flying, they're a little wonky with the edges, the maneuvers. I like to hold my head steady, so I know that's right there is where the intersection is supposed to be. And I just got to fly it peripheral.
Here's another guy taking the fun out of it. Half the fun's flying with glasses where you can't see.
Well, I'm telling you what, as dark as these suckers really get dark in the sun. And the sun would pop out and then it'd disappear, and then it'd pop out and then it'd disappear. And I mean, I felt like I was flying with blinders on. It was dark. So I finally, between that and the mess on the sides, I was about half getting sick. So I went and got the stock glasses to find out, my old glasses, to find out, am I just having physical problems, or are the glasses really that much different? And evidently the glasses are that much different.
Big time.
Yeah, it's enough driving. It make you sick. That's what it does, really. It just makes you sick. But
Hey,
I'll
Mike,
get there.
have you got a chance to maybe fly the Axioma this weekend, you think? Or how's the weather going for you in Tennessee?
It was 68 degrees yesterday.
Now it's
It
gonna be
is
15
it
tonight.
is 30 degrees right now and snowing. We're going to get 2 inches tonight.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I don't want to talk about the weather in Tennessee. I have not had another chance to fly the Axioma, but I did have a very exciting and unique day today. And part of it I can share with you because it's model airplane related.
All right.
The other 2 exciting parts of my day I will save for the after party because they're not model airplane related. But I drove to Knoxville today, actually to Sevierville. Y'all know where Dollywood and all that is.
Oh,
Gatlin.
you met up with, yeah.
I met up with Will Davis today, and he brought me all the airplanes from the Nats, stuff that we couldn't get home. So I've got a litany of show and tell stuff here. I won't do it all at once just to slow the show down, but I'll just hold something up every once in a while and show you guys the stuff. But I'd like to start with an homage to our man Rusty.
Nice.
This is Rusty's shoestring.
I remember
All
that.
right.
Oh, very cool.
Isn't
remember
that
that.
cool?
Yeah, this is, some of the stuff that Holly gave to Will to pass out to people that Rusty knew. So this is the shoestring that he showed it on the show many, many times. And
Yeah.
He loved
he
that
bragged
airplane.
about it. It's got an OS 35 on it. But we got Rusty's plane. And this won't be something that I pass on or try to teach my buddy to fly on. We're going to keep this in honor of Rusty. And, we'll put a couple flights a year on it.
That's
And
awesome.
make sure it's taken care of and oiled up and put away proper. And we'll get it out this year and put a few flights on it. So I got
Very cool.
He
Rusty.
loved that airplane, I'm telling you.
I'll just do 2 more things real quick, and then y'all can get back. Not that anybody here is a big racing person, but
Oh,
This
wow,
The
is-
yeah.
Nemesis.
TJ
Yeah.
Vieira, who runs the Facebook site with us, he's a big, he's a racing guy with Carl Schaefer and Bob Haywood and Henry Nelson and all those guys. He gave, Sam's been mouse racing the last couple years at the Nats, and this is a 15 Goodyear racer
Racer. Yeah.
that TJ gave to Sam after he was done using it. It's got an ASP 15 on it. It has some really crazy, way over engineered tank on it that I don't fully understand, of course, right?
Well, it's your fuel shut off.
So there'll be a learning curve on that one. But yeah, this was TJ's Nemesis.
Very
So
nice.
Neat.
we got that back. And I don't know if Al is watching, but I want Al to know. Al gave Sam a Yavenko fast
Nice.
combat plane when we were there. Now these are Yavenko fast. These are for Nelson 36s.
Christ.
This
Too
is
quick for me.
This is for big block combat. This is an N36 fast that Yavenko sells. And just in comparison,
Look at the trailing edge on that thing.
yeah.
Carbon fiber too. Good grief.
Oh yeah, they're very well built. This is an F2D, and I'm sure you guys remember the story of how I rescued Raddick's airplane and drove to Chattanooga and got those
Got them
18
back.
that were
Yeah.
stolen from him.
Yeah.
So at the end of the Nats, Raddick gave Samuel this F2D airplane. This is a brand new F2D. But just in comparison, look at the size of the
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Big
between
difference.
the lip and the tip between the 15 sized airplane and the 36 sized airplane. I mean, this thing is a monster. This is huge. But of course, it's for a Nelson 36. So
Yeah.
El Ferraro and Raddick.
Very nice.
I got some other stuff, but I'll just bring it up through the chat as time goes on. And then I got a whopper doozy of a story for the after party, man. I'm telling you. It was really cool. Will and I got to spend an hour together at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, the knife store. We hung out. We got all this stuff unloaded and chatted about airplanes for a while. And, nice to see Will during the winter break.
I buy stuff from Smoky Mountain
Me
Knife
too.
Works.
It's a big store. It's the Walmart of knives. But again,
It
that's
is that.
not
It is
airplane
that.
stuff. So, but I'll get some other stuff ready to show. And oh wait, I got one more thing I can show real quick because I want to make everybody real jealous.
Uh-oh.
This was the biggest thing I was most worried about getting back from Will.
Wow.
That's 2 sets of Bob Hunt triple cord foam sheeted SV11 wings. These are
Oh,
some of
look
the
at
best
that.
things that Bob
Wow.
made. I ordered these from Bob when he said he was retiring, and Bob was kind enough to bring them to the Nats and deliver them. But again, I didn't have room in my truck to get them home because I didn't have a topper on my truck at the time. That's how Will ended up with all this stuff. I didn't have
That
a
is
topper on my
nice.
truck. I had an open pickup. So Will was kind enough to drag this stuff home. But 2 Bob Hunt SV11 wings. 2
Nice.
sets, I should say.
Very nice.
Cool.
Pretty slick.
So y'all can carry on, but I'm telling you, stick around for the after party because I got a story for you.
All
All
right.
right.
I've got the Red Baron in the oven, Charles.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to walk with Terrace in a few minutes, but I'll try to get back in time for that because I want to hear that. That'll be a good story.
Joel, I promise you, I will not disappoint because there's something glorious that happened that was a lot of fun and good for me. And then something not so swell happened. And it was just, today was a crazy day, man. It was
Let me take a guess, Mike. You went to Dollywood. You took her out in the center of the circle, had your arm around her, were teaching her to fly, and then her husband came out.
I taught Dolly how to fly control line planes today. Yeah, that's it. I wish it was that. I really wish. No, it wasn't anything so nice.
Oh, okay.
I think you guys will get a kick out of it anyway, but it's not model airplane related, so I'll save it for after.
Very cool.
Hey, Mike, I got your care package today. So my wife says, so thank you very much. And I'll get your stuff back to you as soon as I get home.
Oh my gosh, it came that fast?
Yeah, it's already there. So
wow.
I'm sitting in Tucson right now. So
Oh,
I
you're
can't
in
do a thing
Tucson.
about
Okay.
it, so
You're in Tucson. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Dennis. Whenever you get
Yeah.
a chance to look at those ESCs and whatever, and I hope you enjoy what's in there and I hope you can use it. I really do.
I sure will. So
Okay.
thanks a bunch.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, and Phil, did you get my message on Stunthangar?
No, I didn't. What's
All right. Well, you need to go on Stunthangar and check your messages.
I'll check it out in a few minutes then.
Yeah, Will Davis has in his possession an Aero Tiger 36, an LA 46, and an ME 109 kit.
I'll probably see him next weekend.
Okay, well, I gave you 2 ways to get me paid. So check that message, and either one of those ways is acceptable to me. Okay?
Okay, no problem. Will you stop? He's coming up under between my legs, and he's catching the tablecloth over him, and he looks like he's got a reverse. What do you call those things? Bandana. It's like he's got a reverse bandana. It's from here up, and he's sitting there. I mean, this dog is crazy. He just wants to play. All he wants to do is play all the time. The spring just does not work. I mean, I've had Pomeranians. I've had all kinds of dogs. Pomeranians, rat terriers, and I mean, they're just great dogs, but they wear down. You can wear them out. This thing, he thinks he's a Jack Russell. His little spring just does not wear down. Whoa.
Oh, I do want to say one more thing. Sam is talking. So I just brought this stuff in the garage here like an hour ago, and he kind of forgot about this fast combat plane that Al Ferraro gave him, because Al gave it to Sam. He didn't give it to me. He gave it to Samuel. He's talking like he just dropped a big pair, like he's sprouting a pair because he's like, yeah, I'm going to fly Nelson 36 Combat now. I
Wow.
got an airplane and it's better than your foamies. It's better than any of those foamies or those Dawsons. This is a Yavenko fast combat. I can handle that. He's talking all kinds of smack, like
Wow.
he's just going to jump on a Nelson 36. I'm like, okay, fine. All right, let's see what you got. You better hang on.
I mean that.
You
You
better
might
hang
have to
on.
put a chain
Most
on
of
him to an
His
anchor.
matches.
Well,
Most of-
he's bulked up, man. Not you guys haven't seen him. You might have seen pictures of him, but not in person. He's taller now, and he's bulking up. I think this maybe could be the year that he could.
growth spurt.
I think he could fly a fast. I don't know if he could stay on his feet during a match, because that's two different things. I
Yeah.
think he could fly the airplane, but doing the dance with somebody else out there is another story. Because I think if he got moved the wrong way, it might just pull him over. You know what I mean? Flying one and flying a match is two different things. So, but at least maybe he'll get some handle time on a fast this year.
What does a Nelson 36 cost now? $350?
410 was the last batch.
Wow.
410 was the last batch that Henry just sent out.
Wow.
The batch before that was $370. 3 years ago.
That is some expensive motors.
But yeah, they're $400 a piece. 410.
And the match, somebody was telling me the matches last an average of 12 seconds.
Yeah, about 30 seconds for fast.
Wow.
30 seconds for fast. And they almost all, 50% of them end up in a midair. That's true. 1 out of every 2 matches is a midair in fast. And it's okay if it's just a midair. It's the ones that are crank to crank that are the ones that hurt the most. Howard can tell you that. He knows how painful that is. I'm sure.
I saw some of that happen in Huntersville last time we were there. And
Sounds cool, doesn't it?
it sounds cool, but it sounds expensive to me. It didn't bother me until I learned what some of these things were worth. And I said, oh my gosh, ouch. I'm glad I'm over here and not over there.
Yeah, but with fast, you're not flying a contest every weekend or even twice a month. You might go to 2 fast contests a year.
Yeah.
So that's the price of admission, man. That's what you got to pay if you want to play, and you got to be willing to give one up if that happens. It's what it is.
Well, that happens in all of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I got those. Is Dennis still here?
Yeah, he's still here. He's muted, but he's still here.
I got some of those clips that he was talking about and put them on the end of my lines, these new lines. And I'm here to tell you, if you guys switch over to these new lines, do not under any circumstances buy the green or the graphite color.
No, you'll never see it.
Oh God, you lay it in the grass, it's gone. You lay it on the asphalt, it's gone. You absolutely can't find
see it. Yeah, exactly.
So I've done something that everybody's going to laugh at me at the field, and I really don't care. If you're a fisherman, you've seen this stuff that you open up and you dip the end of your worm or your plastics in to make it bright yellow or bright red. It's really pink, but neon yellow. So what I'm going to do is dunk the line in that and take rubber gloves and just streak it out. So you'll have some indication of where the lines are down through there so that you can see something. Because these things, I unfurled them today and that was miserable. I couldn't find them.
Why'd you buy green?
I bought bright yellow. They sent me green.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Yeah.
So anyway, one of the things. But I don't know. I said, well, I don't want to wait any longer. I want to try it. So I got them made up, and I made the splices. But another trick to it, if you got green if you got yellow or you got some other color, you can take a black magic marker and put on the thing and find out. You just make them all to that mark. Well, if you got the dark green ones, you can't find that stinking mark.
Yeah, of
It
course
just
not.
disappears. No, it just disappears.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is put the mark on there and then put a little piece of tape on there so you can find it. And then you make this one up and you pray you got it right. And you make this anyway. Long story short, mine are an eighth of an inch different. As crazy as I am about trying to get stuff exactly the same, the best I could get them was an eighth of an inch apart, and that's driving me nuts. But the clips will more than make up for it. But I said, well, I'll use that set on the Vector. Then they're 65-pound test lines, so I'll put that on the Vector, and it'll give me a little bit of stagger in the handle, which I apparently need to overcome a problem I'm having with my wrist. But we'll try it. We're gonna see what happens next time I get to go flying. We're gonna try those. I got the plane working today, and I didn't want to try too many new things at one time. But
Did you get them stretched?
oh yeah, they're stretched. They didn't
Okay.
stretch much at all.
All right.
45 pounds of tension on it, hold it for a minute, and there's less than I think it was like 3/30 seconds difference in the length before stretch and after stretch. And if that's all the stretch it's got, the steel ones will stretch that much. So I mean the brass ones, I don't know. I didn't check them, but the old steel ones, 7-ply steel, they'll stretch 3/30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. It's all negligible, but I'm telling you this much: when you get out there and you really bear down on it, it feels as solid as a pair of steel ones, and I think they're going to be fine. Well, Dennis seems to like them.
I like them. I think
The
they're
only
good.
thing that I'm really dislike about them is you got to retrim every airplane for them, because the tip weight, when I took off,
Yeah.
it felt like the outboard wing was flying like this. I thought, what the heck is going on here?
You know what
I mean,
I've
I think
decided to
maybe
do?
take out. Oops, sorry.
What's that?
I've decided that all my old airplanes that are set up for steel lines, I'm going to
Mhm.
leave them with steel lines, and moving forward, I'm going to use the Spectra.
Okay.
Well, that's a good idea, but
That way I don't have to retrim. I don't have time to retrim 40 airplanes.
well, God, if I had that many airplanes, I wouldn't either.
I got more than that, but we're not counting some.
Holy cow! I don't have that many. I've given a bunch of them away. I've given
need
2
to-
away recently. So,
I need to give
well,
more
in the last
away
3
then.
months. Well, I had some people that wanted to fly, and they're not builders, and
Right.
they're flying stuff that was the plane was holding them back. Now they got planes that the planes aren't holding them back. They got no excuses, because
Good.
they're good airplanes. That Cavalier was a winner.
I think
And,
instead of giving some of mine away, I'm going to let Naomi flower pot a few of them, because she's just dying to have another go at trying to learn that pattern this year. So I'm going to let
that's
her
great.
flower pot a bunch of the old ones.
I tell you what, they had a tournament, a contest at Huntersville in the last year, where they literally were trying to see who could fly
In
the
a
plane
trash can.
into a trash can. I said, no, I can't do that. I do not.
I couldn't do that either. I couldn't.
I don't have the heart for that.
They did that at our Nats one time about 30 years ago. Nobody entered.
I can understand why.
Yeah, nobody entered. Everybody said, no, we're not doing that.
The most airplane destructive contest I ever entered many years ago at one of our local contests. They had, and this is back in the heyday of Goodyear racing and rat racing and all that stuff. We had balloon bust.
That'll do it. That'll carnage
you-
a few airplanes up
You can destroy an airplane. We went out and took
big time.
took our airplanes and made sure the propellers had sharp points on the end, and the leading edge was as sharp as we could make it and get away with it. And then you made sure and started the thing with a big thick glove. Because if you got bit, brother, you got bit.
Yeah, you didn't need to do that. Those props will cut a balloon like nothing anyway. At those revolutions, no, you don't need to do that.
The problem turned out to be, well, I didn't do it. I just used a regular propeller. I didn't know any better. You have to hit the full thing first. I hit the stick. I hit the string. I got the balloon, but it was because the balloon's hanging here and the string's coming down. I'd come in too low and hit the stick, and of course it'd get the balloon, but it would do damage to the airplane. So I came back, and the bottom of the covering on the bottom of the airplane is just shredded. But I didn't win, but I did hit a few of the balloons, so I didn't feel totally terrible,
There's
But
many,
I
there's
hate-
many variations to how to play that game and how to set it up.
Well, they had it on time. So what we did, I took off and came down and dove down at the last one and then cut a loop and did this one and did this one and did this one and did this one. But
Yeah,
one of
see,
the
we
guys
don't
had a
allow
faster
that.
airplane and he beat my time.
Hmm.
But
See, we don't
never-
allow that here.
well, it said it was just open. The other guy,
Okay, see, yeah, you can do that. Like I see, there's many variations. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other way that I've seen it done, they said you had to do a lap between each one.
That's the way you should do it, and it's safer too, because that way people aren't trying to change sticks while there's airplanes in the way. What we
Yeah.
do is we have a bullhorn, and you yell through the bullhorn, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up until the guy replacing the stick is cleared, and then you say, okay, go ahead.
You guys, let me interrupt for a second. I think Angstrom is, or Brendan, you have a question, you guys?
Want to jump in?
I wanted to say that we were flying a Pathfinder today, and we were getting 5.5-minute flights, but it was very windy, so we didn't get to fly very much.
Wow,
Yeah.
Pathfinder cha-ching for John Miller.
Cha-ching.
That's great.
John Miller,
Wow.
I love that.
That's
So
cool.
you got your batteries worked out. You're getting 5.5 minutes, right?
Finally got
I know that was an issue for a while. So did you end up with I know you were going to change the motors. And what combination did you end up with? Motor and battery.
we got a 2700 5S battery. We were using a Phoenix 45 ESC with a Cuban timer. And then the motor, I can go get it and take a look.
Just a curiosity, like I said, I think it's
Actually,
good to hear everybody's setups and stuff like that.
Again, it was off Amazon. It was probably about $25, $22. It's called a D3548. It was a 790 kV.
Okay.
So it's not like any major brand or something. I think it says directly on it, made in China. But it was a D3548 790 kV with a 11 by 5.5 prop on it.
Oh,
So-
cool.
You know, it probably came down the same line that the badasses come down. They're all made in China.
Yeah,
They're all
but
made in China.
it was exciting. It was our first flying of the season, but it was as windy as all get out. So he was being taken for a ride.
So did you do any
Yeah.
maneuvers or in the wind, or you just kind of just didn't do it because you didn't feel comfortable?
I did a couple maneuvers, but not very many.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You got to get used to the wind.
Better safe than
And
sorry.
the only way to get used to the wind is to expose yourself to the wind.
Flying it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a little bit of uneasiness with the wind too, but so does the other pilots in the contest. So
Yeah. Anytime you go to a contest and you think, I really don't want to fly because it's too windy, that's the day you really need to get out there and fly. Not at a contest. I said at a contest. Anytime you go fun flying and it's a little bit windy, now not when it's blowing 25 miles an hour, but when
Yeah.
it's blowing just enough that you're uncomfortable, that's the day you really need to practice, because that's the day you'll really learn something.
Yeah,
Pay
it was
attention to. Go
it
ahead.
was trial by fire. It was trial by fire for us out at the Nats because I mean they said it was go time for us at the beginner event, but I mean the wind was at least 15, almost 20
Yeah.
out there probably, and he held his own. He was the overhead eights, right? That was the main issue. Overhead eights. He got through 1.5, so he wasn't able to complete the full beginner pattern. But even my daughter got out there and was doing. She had just learned the week before, just literally how to get in the air and keep it on her own. So she
Mhm.
got out there and was able to fight those winds. And then, of course, the only one in the batch to crash one was me. So I put it in the dirt. But my kids held their own in the winds. I couldn't do it.
And just remember, don't let the wind stop you, because I don't care. You go to a contest, the wind's gonna blow. Some guys don't want to fly when they got to fly directly in the sun. I got news for you. The sun sucks, and I can prove it, because every time you go to a contest, right there is where I need to fly to get the wind, and right there's the sun.
Yeah.
So get used to it. It's going to be that way. Just don't look into the sun. Get you some good sunglasses and don't look in the sun, but practice, because it's going to be that way at a contest.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to
Especially-
hang it up for this evening. We're going to cash it in because we got 3 to 5 inches showing up tomorrow, and we're going to hit our hill here. Do some last end of the year sledding. So.
All right.
There
Very
you
good. Well,
go.
thanks for coming
Y'all
in.
be good. Have a great time.
I saw Angstrom
guys.
wanted to say something. I didn't know how much longer a teenager could wait. So
He is tired. This is a little bit bedtime. So yeah.
all right. Fantastic. Okay. Well, thanks guys for coming in.
Good night,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Y'all have a good one.
Good night.
Surprised
Alrighty.
Steve isn't here yet.
Yeah, he'll be in
Hey
shortly.
guys, I'm gonna bail out on you too.
All
My
right, hey,
roommate
Dennis,
is going
thanks
to
for
bed
coming
here,
in.
so I gotta be quiet here. So
Yeah.
we'll hopefully see you
take
Monday,
care.
but hopefully be posting stuff along the way. So
All
Have a
right,
good
Dennis.
night,
luck to you all.
Dennis.
Have a good weekend. I hope you
Yeah,
all
have a
get
good
to
day
fly.
tomorrow. That'd be awesome.
Dennis, have a good one and good luck with those winds. I've flown in those winds. and
Yeah,
I
it's
felt
supposed to be
like
breezy out here too.
there's
We'll
no-
see.
they're nothing like
We're here to have
anything I've ever
fun.
dealt with.
All right, see you later, guys.
Good
See you
night.
later.
Take care.
And let me say hi to Al. Thanks, Al, for coming in. Yeah, it's hard to get a word in edgewise, so I saw you, but I wanted to acknowledge you and thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I had a
John-
question for you,
Jonathan.
Lynn. I was looking at your plane. Now your bell crank's suspended, right? So you have the rod going through the wing.
Right?
You key it into the fuselage. Is it kind of
Yes.
keyed into it?
Yes.
I
if
thought I
you look
saw
at the-
evidence of that.
Yeah, if you look at the blocks, you can see it there probably.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
did. I
know.
did
Yeah.
see
You
it.
can
I
make
wanted
me
to
big.
ask, but I
Yeah,
couldn't
if you
get a
can make
question
me
in.
big, you'll be able to see it.
No, I can see it. Oh, let me make it big. I have 3 monitors and I forget.
Okay, there we are.
Guys don't
Now you
have-
can see it for sure.
Yeah, I saw it earlier, but I couldn't get a word in. The conversation
looks
was
nice.
just going.
Yeah,
That is
that's
nice.
coming along. Thank you.
Very cool.
You can see the dust on the wing.
Yeah,
But
What's
yeah, it's
gonna
coming
power
along
that,
pretty
man?
nice.
and that's
Stalker 51.
Okay.
and what
and
kind of
it's,
film is that you have on there?
Ultra coat. Same
Alright.
stuff. Yeah, ultra coat.
Very nice.
Well, you did a nice job on that cover.
And
Thank you.
Slick.
There's no, is that foam?
Yeah, it's a Magnum wing, so it's sheeted foam.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I was
sheeted
gonna
foam.
say, I don't see any ribs. I said, man, that's tight.
No, it's sheeted foam.
I hear
Sheeted
Al, I
foam
just don't
wing.
see him.
But it's going to be a little heavy, but it should be all right. I'm figuring around 55 ounces.
Oh, 51 will pull that
Especially
easy.
with a 51, yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm excited. I'm hoping to bring this one to Brodax because I have another new profile, but it's so big. It's got a 60-inch span and a 60 in it. And I'm already bringing big airplanes in the car. I don't need a third big airplane. So if I could bring this one, which is a little bit smaller, it would be better.
Yeah. Know what you mean. All right, guys, I'm gonna go walk the dog. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right,
All
thanks.
right.
Thank you,
All right,
Phil, for coming in.
Oh yeah, don't talk about anything too interesting until I get back. I don't want to have
Yeah.
to watch the darn thing on recording
Hey.
tomorrow.
Hey, we're going to talk about you.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
Very good.
Actually, I know you can find something more interesting than that to talk about. So anyway,
That Phil, he's really something. Oh man.
So Al, what you been up to, Al? Anything interesting?
I've been working on my perky.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted some pictures on Stunthangar, so I stripped it all down completely. Had some cracks in it in the fuselage, put glass cloth over it and refinished it. Now I just have to put the graphics back on it and
Okay.
reassemble it. So I wanted to get that done. I want to fly that Brodax, so.
Everybody's getting stuff ready for Brodax.
Yeah, well, Perky's is competitive at Brodax, so I want to, bring my A game there for the guys.
There you go.
So that's
Very
a lot
cool.
of fun. And then I got these. I know I'm a week late, and you guys were showing the handles. One of our club members made these racing handles for us.
Oh wow, interesting.
And and there, it's a, you know, it has a thumb wheel on it and you can
Yeah.
adjust it. So like, it's for
I
me,
see.
the little planes with they have a little bell crank, so they're really touchy to get that neutral set just right, you know, the way
Right.
you want to fly it, and you know, and get it to playing groove real good. And this little thumb wheel,
That's
it's
cool.
nice to have that little fine adjustment, you know, to lock it in while you're flying.
Right. Now, how do you lock it in? I mean, that thumb wheel can keep turning when you rub on it, right?
Yeah, it's just turning when you rub on it. Well, but once you fly it and you hold it, it stays put. You know,
Okay.
your hand goes up against.
I like the all thread, how he flattened it and put the hole in there for the clips.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, there it is. That's
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
yeah. I mean, I had handles like this with cables, but then he just came up and he has some kind of, got some
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of bolts. The bottom one's fixed and this one just slides in and out on the thumb wheel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So he came up with one, last year. He made it, and I said, "Oh, you got to make me some of those,"
Mm-hmm.
So they're small. It's a small spacing, so you goes in between there. You put some fuel tubing on here so you don't,
Oh,
scratch.
right.
But you can see it's only like a 2-inch spacing because like a Perky or something like that has a tiny bell crank. And when you're flying those planes, they drop like a rock, once the engine shuts off. So you really, to be comfortable with the handle, to have it just right, get the maximum, speed out of it.
I don't even know what Perky. I saw it when I went to Brodax. I saw the sign and I missed. There's so much going on in Brodax. I didn't see any of the Perky stuff, but can you, for our audience, explain what the Perky is, what that is?
Well, it's a little speed. It's a little speed plane. I don't have it here, but you fly it on 52-foot lines. It has a 15 size engine in it, and there's 2 awards. One's for top speed, and the other one's for the average speed. So they take have all the entries, like they have 25 entries, and it's the honor system. You call in. They do it from all over the world. So the people call in their times for it gets times for 16 laps from a dead stop. So it has to be, so once the model's released, they time you for 16 laps, and whatever that time is, they convert it, the half mile chart, and you wherever it comes into the average or the top speed. But everybody sort of on the East Coast and at the Nats, it's like goes for the top speed. And I got top speed last year, and it was over 116 miles an hour from a dead stop, time from a dead stop.
Wow.
So it's that's what we're doing. So the planes, those little balsa wood planes, take a lot of abuse. And mine's been through a lot of wars. So I said it was time to redo it. So I gutted it and reinforced everything and put it back together. So
is it the same 10G pull test, or is it more than that, or
what's that?
is it a 10G pull test or more than 10G?
I believe so. I believe so. I'm not sure, but it's you have to fly it on solid lines, 014 solids.
Okay.
And then you're restricted to your fuel. It's, contest supplied fuel. It's usually 10%, 20% oil. And in the popular engines. I'm running a 415. My friend has a Nova Rossi 15. Nelson 15s are really popular. And it's just a bunch of, tuning, learning how to tune the engine, get it sort of like stunt, you get the thing to come off the ground strong and keep on running consistently throughout the whole 16 laps. And it can't run pressure, it has to be on suction. So
Can you
that's,
put any prop you want on there, or is there a restriction on props?
no, that's a whole tuning thing, any prop you want,
Okay.
Al, wasn't there somebody making a kit of that airplane at one time?
Say that again?
Wasn't there someone who made a kit of that airplane for a while?
I think, it was oh boy. Well, there's a cottage industry on the stunt forum. What's his, Pat King? I think he was making one.
Okay.
But I mean, back in the day, I don't know. Who, I think it was.
Well, I'm just wondering if somebody
was PDQ, I think.
If somebody was interested in it, where are the plans and the or the kits available from? That's
well on Stunthangar. He's he's a one of the Stunthangar suppliers.
Vendor corner.
Yeah, right. I think he has. I'd have to look it up, but it's the guy's name is Pat King. I forget what the heck is, what his company is on Stunthangar.
Yeah, I've seen his thread. He makes a lot of. I remember seeing the 476 Ringmaster.
Yeah.
And Flash Streak, I mean.
Let me see if I can pick it up real quick.
Go ahead. While you do that, let me just recap. We're at 24 concurrent viewers. We have 17 likes. If you have not hit the like button, please do that. Also, we have 0 chat revenue. Please consider supporting the channel with the super chat. You can do that during the live stream only. And then you can join anytime. And the join is just hit that join button below. And it starts at $4.99 a month, which is really less than 17 cents a day. And it helps the channel. And also, it helps you. I think that people should recognize they can compress time frames with this show, because you can learn so much here quickly as opposed to learning it by flying, especially if you're on an island and you have no one else around, no experts. There's things that'll take you years to figure out, but watching the show, you'll figure it out. Someone will tell you, and will save you bunches of time. And I don't know how much that's worth to you, but it should be significant, the savings of your time. So please consider supporting this for that reason.
Yeah, actually, so I found it in the vendor's corner, and actually he just posted, and he sells the kit for $114 plus shipping, or he could get the plans for $5. And it's PDQ laser cut kits. So,
Well, that's not a bad deal.
yeah,
You grab them.
it's a lot of fun. It's exciting, it's, rip it around and do that stuff. I mean, I always,
These speak combat.
all the speed stuff always gets me, I'm hooked on that stuff,
No kidding. I didn't recognize that. Yeah, you definitely
Go fast and turn left.
Yeah.
With a breeze type of bird flying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool stuff.
We make you big.
Light hawks.
Yeah, Al, this is some of our haul from the Nats. These were unflown. This one's not even covered, but unflown and not finished light hawks that Dave Hallis out of Florida gave Sam.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Very
we'll be
cool.
covering those.
Combat.
Say again?
I didn't know Dave Hallis flew combat.
He did. Yeah, Dave apparently flew back in the day. But yeah, he built some nice light hawks. We'll finish them up and throw some trophies on them, and we'll use them, They're
That's
they're
perfect
virgins.
That's perfect for Sam to get his timing down.
Yeah, well, he's pretty good. Sam's pretty good half-eight guy anyway. And then I don't know where these came from. Somebody gave these to Sam at the Nats. Guy had a big pile of airplanes. What's weird is that one has a bladder compartment in it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as big as an Allen plane. It's not quite as big. So I don't think it's a fast. It's too small to be a fast. Here, take that one too.
An old school fast.
Old school fast, maybe. And then this one is the same style, same everything, just different color. But it has no bladder compartment in it. There's no compartment cut in it. Maybe you just didn't get around to cutting one and putting one in.
So it was never used? It never looks like it was used?
No, it was never used.
Yeah, you can tell by the engine block. It was.
Right. Yeah, it hasn't even been fuel proofed yet.
Yeah, that hasn't been finished. Yeah.
So you think maybe this is an older school fast because they were smaller back then?
Yeah, you got to cut a bladder compartment behind the spar and then you cover it with duct tape.
Put those down.
Put a tube in there.
Yeah, put a tube in it. But here's what I want to ask you, Al, since you're on here. We got a mess of these. These are some kind of old slow, right?
Yeah.
They don't have tails on them, but they're set up for a suction tank.
Right.
They haven't been finished. They got a nose mount. Again, it's the same exact wing.
Yeah.
Nose block set up for a suction tank. They're covered. They all got film on them. They have film on them, but they haven't been fuel proofed.
Might
And
be them old Fox 35 super slows.
Fox 35 super slow. Okay.
I mean, those ran on tanks. Yeah.
They got a huge, that is a fat carbon fiber boom on them, like almost half-inch carbon fiber boom. And then it's slotted, to put a plywood piece in there to put your stabilizer on.
Or it's a slow combat, the slow combat with a Nelson on the front.
Slow combat with a Nelson. Well, that's what we were thinking. We were thinking we could use Nelsons with suction tanks on these. It's a big fat wing, man. It really is, at the root and the tip. It's not.
That'll. You could just make it a fast.
Well, yeah, I guess we
Put a
could.
bladder compartment in it and let Sam bang around with that.
Yeah. Well, we still fly slow up in Detroit. We still fly 1936 slow on suctions. So having airplanes like this is good. I would make them suction tank Nelsons for slow up there because we need airplanes for up there because we still, even though it's not AMA event anymore, we still fly it as a fun event up there because a lot of guys still have equipment for it,
Well, you got a restrictor in your Nelson to do that.
Correct. Yeah, restrictor plate on a suction tank. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because the only 36s I ran on suction tanks like the Nelsons and Mark 7s was in our Warbird event, a racing event. I can't stand a tank on a combat plane. It's just too much trouble.
The Nelsons do okay, man. They do pretty good on a suction tank with the restrictor and just a Tiger needle, or hell, I got some just with an OS needle, a stock OS needle through them, and they do 100 miles an hour. They do 100, and they're big doggy things. They don't turn super fast, but that's kind of what makes it fun, is because they're loud. Yeah. They are fast, but they don't turn on a dime or anything. They all got really long booms on them. Right. So they kind of got that barbell thing going, but I don't know. It's fun. We have a hoot with it. I wish they hadn't killed the event and just stopped slow 329 as it is and changed it to speed limit combat. They should have left slow, Nelson 36 slow, and then made speed limit a new event.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really ever fly that event, slow, slow that style. Back when I was a, junior, we flew slow, but you were allowed to have we had a pressure tank. You were allowed a pressure tank.
Mhm.
We flew it with ringmasters and flight streaks.
Right. Yeah, slow combat has a different meaning to many different generations over, but the way it ended up was Nelson 36 with a restrictor and a suction tank. That's how slow combat ended up at the end.
So
But
I had to rebuild my Mark 7. That's the one you videoed at the Nats.
yeah.
Because when it went in the dirt, I guess dirt got in the piston and liner and scratched it. So I had to put a new piston and liner in it. And now it's actually running better than ever.
It sounds good.
And then I called up Henry and had him make up some more piston and liners for me.
Yeah.
What kind of needle valve is that, Al?
What's that?
What kind of needle valve is that? It looks kind of special.
Well, that's a Nelson needle valve on it, but actually stunt guys would know it as a PA needle valve.
Yeah.
Right.
Henry makes them. But yeah,
Nice.
it's just a big hole. Big hole in a crank, big hole in there. This engine has a real big crankshaft diameter, like a Nelson 36.
Or if that sucker swallowed a bee, it'd go right through to the back plate.
What's that?
I said, if that engine swallowed a bee while you're flying, that bee'd go all the way to the back plate instead of getting stuck in the venturi.
All right,
I'm referring to when Ted Fancher at the Northwest Regionals took the pond scum and was flying inverted, and he swallowed a bee and it got stuck in his venturi, choked it off, and he had to land it upside down.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's very big.
That's a massive hole.
Yeah, and it has a massive crankshaft in it. You see the size of it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
right there.
Trying to turn it through. Oh, there's the prop. It's the props. There it is. There's where
Wow.
it opens,
Wow.
and then there's where it closes.
Wow.
I mean, it sets up on a bladder, and when I went to the Nats, I used this in my first match in case I didn't. Those guys fly fast a lot more than I do, and I wanted to run the Mark 7 against the Nelsons to see how it did, and I won my first match with the engine.
Yeah, you were right there, Al. You were right there.
And the thing was running great. I mean, and we were flying in high winds. It was actually the winds were when I was going into the wind and coming out of the wind, turning hard, my shutoff was tripping. I had the swing weight shut off. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm flying. All of a sudden, I'm saying, "What the heck?" And it did the same. It did the same thing with my next match with the other plane with the Nelson on it. Flying, the way I was turning, it would trip the shutoff. And the engine was starting to stall. The wind we were flying in, I don't know, it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds.
It was horrible. Well, Al, none of these guys were still there because we were still at the Nats at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon that day on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever day it was. Stunt was gone. They were all good. The combat guys were the last guys to leave the field because we flew 3 events that day.
Right. Yeah. I left after that. I didn't fly half A. I was.
Yeah.
Actually, I was fine to go the next round, but then guys were asking me to help them, and then running around, in the heat of battle and helping them pitting and getting back up. And, Neil Simpson, they launched him. He came down and had to run. The guy forgot I don't know, a tool, had to run back to the tool, get the toolbox. He didn't bring the toolbox with him, then fix it, then throw it back up again. He had his swing weight. He had the fuel line wrapped around the swing weight the wrong way. So every time the swing weight came out, it pinched the fuel line and shut the engine off. So I told him reverse it, and then he threw it up and it flew, and then Neil got the kill and won the match. But I mean, they wore me out, you know. And then the guy that beat me went to the finals, and then he asked me to help him in the final match, and you know, against Wilcox. And that was another melee. They went up and they had a midair, and Wilcox had 2 seconds of airtime on him. He got up first. So then I think his name was Greg Carter. He came down and his wing came off. The outside of the wing came off, and he didn't have any duct. The wing fit back together perfectly, but he didn't have any tape to tape it. But it fit back really nice. So all he had to do was make one lap. So I said, well, we'll try it. We'll put it up. I said, don't do maneuvers or anything. Just fly level. You only need 3 seconds. He took off, and he went halfway around the circle. The wing fell off, and Dave disqualified him.
Dave DQ'd him. Yeah.
DQ'd him for flying unsafe. Now, if we had some duct tape, just
it would have stayed on.
We would have won.
Yeah.
But that was cool. It's a big adrenaline rush, you know.
That's how fast it is, man. It's crazy. It's a nutty event, man, for sure.
Yeah. So.
But big talker over here says he's gonna fly that airplane you gave him. He's like, Dad, put a Nelson on that. I'm ready for it.
That's an awesome plane. I thought that plane was going to be so hairy and touchy, but it really flies very steady, and it turns tighter than anything I ever flown. It's amazing, and it doesn't slow down. It's amazing.
We'll see if he can hold on. What's up, Steve?
I don't know if Charles can fix it or not. When I was watching, it's like, I don't know why this goes and makes someone big, but it doesn't turn off. And you can, other people are talking and you only see a person that it made big. It's hard to follow what people are talking about, you know.
You can go back to gallery view anytime you want.
Right. I was watching on YouTube, and you can't go back to gallery.
No, not on YouTube. Yeah, not on YouTube. It just.
So I didn't know if Charles was making people big and just keeping them big for a whole bunch of the deal, or why it's not going back to gallery. But I mean, I watched for 20 minutes, and it was just was it Brendan, whatever the guy's, his son was on there. Right. He was the only one you could see.
Okay. I remember even Bob Whitley said the same thing, I think a week or so ago. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Here I can go back to gallery all the time, but when you're on YouTube, you got a picture of somebody not talking and other people are talking, and you don't, you know, I call Mike and ask him if he was on. I thought I heard his voice, but I wasn't even sure. I couldn't even tell who was on.
Yeah, I know that between what I do is like a 5-minute delay. But I don't know. Okay. But thanks for letting me know. I'll try to keep an eye on that. Now I can see what's being streamed on YouTube, so I have 3 monitors. So I'll try to keep an eye on and see what's going on. If it doesn't switch, then I have to maybe switch, or maybe I have to go back and set them back up as big and then take them down again. But I'll try to keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Hey, can I say something to Al again real quick? Al, since you've never flown real like Meslick Nelson 36 on suction slow combat planes, I'll bring a couple to Brodax and we'll just fart around and we'll fly a match and you can fly one and see. It's a hoot, man. I'm telling you, it ain't fast, but it's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I got plenty of airplanes, man. I'll set some up. I'll bring a few, and we can dink around one day just for funsies.
I mean, on those, like the plane I gave you, I put my brand new 4 on it, which is a little bit lighter than the Nelson, and it actually, and it sat back closer to the wing than the Nelson does, because I have the Nelson backplate mount on when I was flying, those planes.
Oh yeah, the fork mount.
I was really worried about it plane being really twitchy when I was flying with the 4 on it, because I was using the mounts. I think I gave you the mount.
You did, yes. Thank you too for including a set of mounts. Yes, very generous.
The one that I flew with has. You ever see the Nelson backplate mount?
The fork mount, yeah. I've got a couple.
Right. So that puts the engine out a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran the 4 on those type of mounts, and I thought, oh boy, this thing's going to be really squirrely, and it flew perfect. I mean, I was really amazed, and we clocked it just 4 was just being broken in, and on 10% fuel, we clocked it that big plane at 116 miles an hour.
What nitro y'all running a match?
Just 10%.
Not us, man. We're running 37 in ours.
Yeah, well, they're running. Yeah, I'm running. For me, they only run like 2.5 minutes on 4 ounces of fuel. So if you put more nitro in, it really doesn't matter. The match only lasts about 35 seconds. But
yeah.
You guys are running out to the field and going. I said, the heck, I'm walking.
Yeah, no, I get it. But Detroit Combat Team, man, 37% nitro is the deal with Dardanellis. That's what we run. And you put enough on for 1.5 minutes. If you don't crash or get a kill in 1.5 minutes, you got time to bag up and go up again for another 1.5 minutes at the end of the match.
Well,
that's our strategy. 1.5 minutes at the beginning, get the kill or midair. If you don't, bag up, go up again, and then you got the 1.5 minutes on the back end. That's
the new planes that I got. They came in like a week after the Nats. They have the longer bladder, the longer compartment.
That would be nice.
6 to 8 ounces in that plane.
Yeah, that would be nice. Because I've come around to the short bag theory of 1.5 minutes, land, refuel, 1.5 minutes. But when I first started in fast and I was building foamies,
right,
I was putting, I was doing 6 ounce bladder tubes because I wanted to fly for 3.5 or almost 4 minutes if I could, but my tutors, or my mentors, should I say, have talked me out of that mentality of going full bag and staying up, because they're like, airtime don't matter. I mean, it does sometimes. Sometimes airtime matters, but what you really need is to be able to go up 2 times.
Right.
A lot of times you're not going to have that opportunity to go up twice. It's going to be over in 1.5 minutes. So why bag for more than that? Mm-hmm. And if you get through that 1.5 minutes, land, bag it up, and go up again.
Well, half A used to be the same way.
Was it?
We're flying half A more and more. Next thing you know, like I'm flying, me and Roy are flying each other, or Neil, and we're flying the whole tank out, flying the full 5 minutes. So then it turned out that the Cyclones were having trouble running the full 5 minutes on as much fuel they could fit in their bladder compartment. So then airtime was coming into play.
Yeah.
I love, that's where the power of the Picos, they made so much power and they got tremendous fuel mileage. They could run, they run like 1 minute longer than all the other engines. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's 100 different strategies to any of that stuff. And on any given day, one might be better than another. You never know, man.
Well, that's when we were doing it, you know, a lot. I mean, we were flying it almost every weekend, you know.
What's up, Charles?
Let's end the show. And I want to just thank everybody for coming in. Appreciate it. And we had as many as, I think at the height of the show, we had like 30 viewers. But what was really significant tonight, our average view time was like almost 30 minutes, because sometimes it's only like 15 minutes. So from that, I think we had a pretty good show. And 0 chat revenue, 0 new members, but please consider joining the YouTube channel. And also, you only can do the super chat during the live stream. So yeah, if you tune back in again Monday between 6:45 p.m. and my time, Pacific time, and midnight, come on in and give us a super chat. That'd be great. So thank you very much. And go out there and have some fun. Hope Dennis out of Mission has a great time in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona at
Just hit
VSC.
stop.
And I have some other friends that are there. Hopefully they can come in and tell us about what happened. So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye. We will see you again Monday.